Alright, so if you're looking at this video, that means you got number one wrong. And so I wrote down the problem for you to figure out, like, where is it that you went wrong at? So here it says the ratio of miles to hours for 4 different trains is equivalent. So this part is really important, okay? So the ratio for these 4 trains is the same, which means every single one of them is going the same mile in 1 hour. So here, I know that if I simplified any of these, I would get the same answer or the same unit rate because they're all the same. They're all equivalent. Equivalent means the same. Okay, so the question says, how far does the metro, which is a different train, travel in 5 hours? Now, here's what I have to do to figure this out. Because all of them are the same, it says the ratio of miles to hours for these trains is equal. I could figure out how much any one of these is traveling in 1 hour because they're equal. So I could choose whichever ratio I want to find the unit rate. So I'm going to choose the T train just because I'd rather work without decimals. So it's just easy for me. So you could choose whichever one you want. So I'm going to do 270 miles in 3 hours. And we want to know how much in 1 hour. We want to find the unit rate. So how would I get from 3 to 1? I would divide by 3. And here I would divide by 3. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. And the reason why I did it is anything you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top to maintain equivalence. 270 divided by 3 is 90 miles, because 27 divided by 3 is 9, so 270 divided by 3 is 90. Okay, so we have 90 miles in 1 hour, but that's not what the question says. What the question says is how much does the metro travel in 5 hours? So be careful. If you chose 90, that's because you figured out how much in 1 hour instead of in 5 hours. So now we're going to use, okay, this goes 90 miles in 1 hour. And we want to figure out how much in 5 hours. So how do I get from 1 to 5? We multiply by 5. And I multiply by 5 in the top. So I know 9 times 5 is 45. 90 times 5 then would be 450 miles. And that's what would be your answer. So be careful, because a lot of you could have chose 90, but the question isn't asking me how much per hour, it's how much for 5 hours.